So this is the We Are Venice show about Venice people, about people who share their love for this place, you know. And thanks all the subscribers. If you didn't subscribe, please subscribe, share with your friends, press the like button, leave your comment, tell us who you guys want to see, let me know. And I'm here today to talk with Kassia Meador. And she's an absolutely legend that I really like it. She's my friend. And yeah, Kassia, I want you to introduce yourself.
What's up, Wagner? It's nice to be here with you. And yeah, I mean, I remember first seeing you probably like 12, 13 years ago surfing the breakwater. I was living on Pacific, and that was like a really nice time in and around Venice. It was like, yeah, just a good flow, and I remember you being down there and we were surfing and you always had a good vibe, and that was super fun. I'm Kassia Meador. I was like a professional surfer for a very long time. I grew up in the Valley in Los Angeles, and for many years I traveled the world surfing longboard professionally. And in 2013, I left professional surfing to start my own wetsuit brand, Kassia Surf, where I make wax and wetsuits. And now I'm also teaching retreats, both like internationally and also like kind of group retreats here locally. And really like my whole focus is surfing and how much I love surfing, how much surfing and the ocean has brought joy to me. Also how much community. It's like, you know, the waters of the world, the ocean really connect all the land masses worldwide, and I think they connect us as people. It doesn't matter where you're from, but as long as you connect through the ocean and a shared passion, then it doesn't matter which language we speak, it doesn't matter where we're from, how we grew up, it's something that we can all share. So I really think that surfing and a connection with the water is a real, you know, opportunity to bring people together, to really feel like we're a family. And I think that that's really what it's about. So I think like, you know, the community here in Venice is really great with that. You know, I think there's a lot of amazing people here, and LA is like a city of like over 20 million people, but it also feels like all these little kind of pockets, these little homes. And I think surfing is a big part of that, you know, and it has been my whole life, and I'm grateful to continue to do it and share it with other people.
Who taught you to surf?
Well, really, I think like more than anything, the ocean taught me to surf, and watching people taught me to surf. But, you know, my dad was a surfer, and he still is a surfer. I'm gonna go surfing with him tomorrow. It's our annual Thanksgiving, kind of go surfing if the waves permit. But, you know, he was always surfing in the summer only, you know, having like a small family, he wasn't getting to surf so much. He was working a lot, but then every summer we'd take a 1-week trip and he'd surf. And I'd like ride my boogie board, and I was like all into the ocean, and I really wanted to surf, you know? And so he's like, listen, you spend a whole summer doing junior lifeguards, and then we'll go surfing together. So then when I was 14, I did junior lifeguards up at Leo Carrillo, North Beach in Leo, because that's where I grew up there by Decker Canyon. And so I did junior lifeguards, I learned the ocean, and at the end of junior lifeguards every day, they had like one of the lifeguard boards, you know? They had like 3 of them, and all of us kids would surf them. And basically you could stay on the board as long as you didn't fall, because if you fall, then the board goes in and somebody else gets it and somebody else's turn. Oh. So, and I never wore a leash growing up surfing because they didn't have leashes, so we would just surf until we could hang on to it and then lose our turn, you know? So that's really the first summer I started surfing. And then that winter, me and my dad started going to California Street together up at C Street, started surfing all the time. And then that next summer when I was 15 is when I went to Malibu. And that's when I met Dane and, you know, guys like Josh Farbro, Eric Gross, everybody like that, and started surfing with them. So really it's like watching, paying attention, junior lifeguards, the ocean, and then just going.
Yeah, I like to say that too, that as a surf teacher, like I can show you like how to start, like, and everything, but the ocean is gonna be your teacher, you know, like the waves you're gonna catch, like the ocean is gonna show you how to surf, you know. I think that's very beautiful that you said that. So you got your first wave at Leo Carrillo.
You know, Leo Carrillo was not Leo Carrillo, is the back beach. So like junior lifeguards was at Heavens, so the back beach of Leo. So like Heavens is really where I got my first waves that I caught myself. And then like La Conchita, I would go there with my dad, and then C Street, and kind of all over. But that was the first summer that I was like really surfing. And then, you know, as a kid, I'd boogie board in San Diego. I'd boogie board at like Zuma and stuff like that from the beach bus. But yeah, that was like really the big summer that I cut my teeth on surfing.
All right. And a lot of people don't know that. If you know Kassia, you see her like surfing like here on the longboard, but she's a great shortboarder too. Shortboard or longboard?
Always, like, I think for me, it's like whatever the conditions are. You know, like growing up in California, the point breaks and stuff, we have a lot of perfect, and even here in Venice, you know, like a small beach break day, like Venice is kind of better when it's a little smaller, you know, it's not as closed out, so it's a good wave for a longboard. But I really like to ride anything I can get my hands on, so I'm always about riding the board for the conditions. And then when it comes to surfboards, a really good friend of mine, Dane Peterson, he also lives in Venice. He has a board brand called Unhinged. I've known him since I was 15 years old. I met him at Malibu. He was like I was 15, he was 17. He's like 2 years older than me. So we actually worked for 2.5 years on a surfboard model that just came out at the beginning of this year. It's called the Aqueous. And that's available on unhingedsurfboards.com. And it's something that we work very hard for. We really wanted to create a surfboard that was like, you know, made for women and or smaller frame people, that would feel really intuitive, you know, kind of a board that would work in every condition. And now it's available. Either you can get a hand shape, or you can get one that's scanned that he'll fine tune for you. And it's like, I mean, it's so funny. I was teaching a lesson today, and I saw one of the women who's a local Venice lady who had one, and she's like, this board just makes me so happy. I'm like, you know, and she's like beaming on her board and like catching great waves, and we're just like, yeah. And that's why we do it, you know? So I'm super grateful.
That's so sick, like here. So it was a diamond that you guys updated, you know, from the beginning to the end, you know, and now people, yeah, shout out to Danny Peterson, you know, like if you guys want a surfboard, talk to him. I'm sure you can come like with your ideas of how you want to surf, and he's gonna come out with something really good, like how he did like for Kassia. But also you can order her model, you know, so please do it. Shout out Danny. Who is your favorite shaper for shortboard?
You know, like right now, gosh, that's hard. Like I don't ride traditional shortboards. I ride more kind of like mid-length style and stuff like that. I have like a twin pin from Alex Lopez that I love. That board's super cool. I also got a couple cool fishes and some other boards right now from Ryan Lovelace that I'm really into. Manny Caro, he has Swallowtail Society Mandala custom shapes. He made this like arc tail swallow that's a quad that was like always one of my favorite quads. So I feel like there's not one shaper, it's just more specific shapes that I like from different shapers.
Do you have any Venice old school local that inspired you? From the skaters back in the days, or surfers?
You know, I think it's hard because for me it was like growing up surfing, you know, as a kid, I didn't come to Venice as much. I was more surfing Malibu. And because I was surfing more Malibu, there was this one woman that I really looked up to who inspired me, and her name is Brittany Leonard. And she was always making her own clothes, making her own, you know, surfboards, doing stuff like that, you know. But like the whole like Dogtown movement was super rad. You know, Peggy's super inspiring surfer, and like yeah, she always was an inspiration when it came to like the skateboarding part of it. You know, and I think the whole Dogtown community really, I think they were just inspirational for everybody who was into surfing and skateboarding, because it really like influenced all of us. When I was a little kid and I was like super skateboarding before I surfed or anything, Naudis Koppis was my big inspiration, and he was born and raised in Venice. And I remember my first skateboard was Naudis's Pro Model with Powell, and it was a skeleton doing a hand plant on a half pipe. And it was like, that was huge, you know? So from a women's perspective, yeah, for sure, Peggy as a skater and then Brittany as a surfer, you know, but she was more Malibu. But then like as a guy, Naudis for me, because that was more my generation. He was like at the height of his career, and he's like old school Venice. So
I love that guy.
Yeah.
The way he skated is so sick.
So
like,
sick.
And if you guys don't know, his background is actually Lithuanian. You know.
That's cool.
That's what I did my research, and I saw that like actually, and that's why his name, like his last name, is totally Lithuanian actually.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
And what's your relation with Alan?
Dude, Alan, I've known him since I was a kid at the beach. You know, Alan's legend. You know, wave killer. He's like OG Venice. And as Grom, you know, like we were all on longboards and he was like a shortboarder. And he's like, what are these kids doing on their longboards, you know? But it's so cool because now he's out there. He just did a really good, like he just did the Malibu event on the longboard, and I'd never seen him on a longboard before, and that was so awesome. But yeah, Alan is just like classic legend, you know? I remember being a kid and just watching him hit the lip so hard that he sent the wave back to the ocean.
Bro, I love Alan so much. Like I'm so happy. Like as I told you, next week I'm going to Hawaii to meet Alan. We're gonna be doing a lot of things in Hawaii. Look, so I'm looking forward to that. Like I can't wait to be there with him. Like and he doesn't know that, but he's gonna have to take me surf like these spots like that I have a little hard time going, especially when it's really big. I'm gonna be like, Alan, please take me, you know. And I'm so stoked with that. I'm so happy with that, you know. Like and yeah, for me it was a dream, like coming from Brazil, you know. And when I got here, I started to meet all my idols, you know, guys like Jay Adams, you know, like Alan Sarlo, you know, like Tony Alva, you know, like here. Actually, Tony is such a cool guy, you know, like I saw the evolution of like his journey in life. Like I was like, wow, man, I really admire you, man. So I think I'm really blessed to come to Venice, you know, and be in this place and get to meet all the idols, like all the people that inspired me, like get to meet you, you know, like it was amazing for me. Like when I look, I was like, oh, actually that's Kassia, you know, like here. And watch like the movie, like Step in the Liquid.
Sometimes the guys get kind of aggro, but those are the kind of people that like are just mad at the world anyway, I think, and they're gonna find a problem with whoever's out there, and especially when a bunch of girls show up and they probably surf better than them.
Having this profound journey here, you know, the way you surf, the way you know, show yourself like to your community, like people really love you. If it wasn't for you. I see that you're doing these retreats like here. I would like to hear about it a little bit. How are those retreats? And tell people how they're gonna find these retreats, like how they're gonna join you guys.
Totally. So I love hosting retreats, and right now I'm working both domestically, small groups around here in California, and then also I just got back from Indonesia. So I was there in Indonesia for the last month hosting a few retreats, and that's super amazing. Also, we have coming up Nicaragua, and then I'm gonna be spending a little bit of time in Mexico. So I have a lot of international retreats, and I love taking people to places. You know, it's like you work with somebody here and you see them for 2 hours, and then they have to go to work or they have to do this, and maybe you see them once a week, and so they can progress but not in a deeper way. You know, it takes longer, right? But when you have somebody for a whole week, that's amazing. A week or 10 days. So it's like you take them to this amazing place. They don't have the distractions of work and family and traffic and all these things. They can just focus in the surf. They can focus in the meditation, the sound healing. They can focus in the yoga. They can focus inwardly. And that's really what I love. So our retreats are international and domestic. I really want to focus on more domestically is my plan moving forward, because I love traveling internationally, but not everybody can get off for 10 days to 2 weeks, you know? So I do want to kind of like have a couple of retreats internationally, but really focus a lot here as well. And just bring people together. Because again, it's an opportunity to be with community, to be an amazing place, to go get to travel and adventure, but then really dedicate time and energy to getting better at surfing, so when you go home, you can have more fun in the water. So people can find all of our retreats on my website, kassiasurf.com, or on my Instagram. So everything's there. I'm always posting about stuff, posting cool videos, tricks, tips, sharing about my wax wetsuits, everything that we do. So check it out.
kassiasurf.com, the website. And what's the Instagram again?
Kassia Surf.
Kassia Surf is the Instagram. And the website is kassiasurf.com, okay? I totally recommend, guys. I want to join one of those retreats. Like, I know I'm gonna learn so much with this person, you know, like, and I definitely want to go. And if you guys feel like going for a surf retreat, yoga retreat, get better surfing, interact with beautiful people, please contact her and let's do it, you know? Thank you so much for coming. You know,
Thank you so much for having me and sharing stories.
Yeah, and
yeah, we are Venice. What up?